Good afternoon, everybody.
Good
Am I
Good
audible?
afternoon,
evening.
sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
Very good evening.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all. So, first of all, I will going to discuss BES 123. The title of the paper is Learning and Teaching. And block 1, that is learning, perspectives and approaches. So, whether my PPT is visible to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes?
sir.
Okay. Okay. So, dear learners, a question to you all. Suppose the child plays with the matchstick and burn himself. What's happened to the behavior of the child? The situation is if the child burned himself when playing with the matchsticks, what is the happen to the behavior of the child? Yes, anybody? What is happen? Yes? ପିଲାଟି ଖେଳୁ ଖେଳୁ ମ୍ୟାଚଷ୍ଟିକରେ ପୋଡ଼ିଗଲା। ତା ବ୍ୟବହାରରେ କ'ଣ ଦେଖାଯିବ? So what sort of behavior he will show next? Yes?
He will cry, sir.
Yes, audible ହେଲାନି ଅରୁଣ।
He, he will cry, sir.
Cry, very good. The child will cry. Anybody? Yes?
ସେ ଆଉ ସାର୍ କେବେ ବି ମ୍ୟାଚ୍ ରେ ଖେଳିବନି ସାର୍।
Try to give your response. Very good. କେବେ ବି ଆଉ ମ୍ୟାଚଷ୍ଟିକରେ ଖେଳିବନି। Never touch the matchstick. Okay. Any other? Okay.
ପିଲାଟି ଡରିଯିବ,
One
sir.
of ଡରିଯିବ. Avinash is right. ଡରିଯିବ. Okay. So, maybe have fear, maybe avoid the playing with matchstick, maybe have fear for the matchstick. Okay. Another situation is, what is the most appropriate place of learning? What is the most appropriate place of learning? Classroom, playground, market, attending a marriage party, or any other place? There are 4 alternatives, and you may say any other place. What is the most appropriate place of learning? Anybody can say?
Classroom.
Playground.
सर शिशुर
ସେଲ୍ଫ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ
Playground.
ସେଲ୍ଫ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ
Okay, anybody?
ଶିଶୁର
Self-learning.
ପରିବେଶ
Okay. Okay. Then
Playground, sir.
ପରିବେଶ, environment. Okay. Then anybody?
Sir,
Okay. Come up. Okay. Any response?
Family, sir.
Family. Okay. So you all are right. But one place is not confined for the child to learn. Because learning takes place anywhere and anytime. From the above 2 situations, we learned what? Now, learning takes place anywhere and anytime. There is no fixed time. There is no fixed place for learning of the child. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
From whom the individual learns? Anybody? Shopkeeper, artist, teacher, children, or any other? From whom the child learns? Yes?
Sir, from everybody.
From everybody, sir.
From everybody. One can learn from anyone. So there is no
Anyone.
limitation. One or two or three are the individuals from whom the child learns. So the child learns from anyone. There is no restriction. There is no restriction to a particular individual. Okay. So among all the situations, we came to conclusion that learning takes place anywhere and anytime, and an individual or any child can learn from anyone. There is no restriction about the place of learning, time of learning, and from the individual from whom the learner learns. Okay. Now come to discussion about few definitions. So here is a definition by Gardner Murphy. Okay. The term learning covers every modification in behavior to meet environmental requirements. Learning covers what? Every modification in behavior. Why? Not to meet what? Environmental requirements. Every individual lives with a certain environment. So within our environment, the individual learns and requires number of need. Therefore, learning helps the individual to modify his or her behavior, to change his or her behavior as per need of the environment. For example, think about a child who lives in Bhubaneswar city. Think about a child who lives in the remote area, either hill station or in the jungle. So environment in the jungle or hill station and the environment in Bhubaneswar city is different. So requirement is also different. As environment is different, so child's requirement is also different. As per child's requirement, his behavior should be modified, should be changed, so that learning is required. Okay. So another is learning is the acquisition of new behavior or the strengthening or weakening of old behavior as the result of experience. Henry P. Smith advocates this definition as learning is the acquisition of new behavior or the strengthening or weakening of older behavior as the result of experience. What is learning? Who can say what is learning? Yes, anybody?
Modification of
What
behavior.
is learning?
Learning is the modification
Modification of behavior.
of
How
behavior
one can
through
modify
experience.
it? Okay, very good. Okay. Through experience, you are right. So experience is the learning. Through experience, one can learn or modify his or her behavior. Okay. So here, Henry B. Smith advocates that learning is nothing but acquisition of new behavior. New behavior means new acquisition of new experience or strengthening or weakening of older behavior. When the child, suppose think about, now the concept is Earth moves around the sun. But in the past, what was the belief? Anybody?
The sun is moves around the earth.
Very good. It was the belief. So, today we believe Earth is moving around the sun. So, what experience we had before, then changed. Then it is changed. How? Na through experience. Okay. ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ପିଲା ଶିଖେ, ବୁଝେ, ଜାଣେ, ତାର ଗ୍ରାଜୁଆଲି ଯେତେ ଏଜ୍ ବଢେ ସେ ଅଧିକ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ର ସୁଯୋଗ ପାଏ, ଆକର୍ଡିଂଲି ତାର ଏକ୍ସପିରିଏନ୍ସ ଟା ଏନରିଚ ହେଇ ଚାଲେ। ତେଣୁ when experience is there, automatically the previous learning becomes strengthened or the previous learning becomes weakened. ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ ଭୁଲ କଥାଟେ ଶୁଣିଛି, ପରବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ସମୟରେ ସେ ଜାଣିଲା ନା ଏଇଟା ଠିକ ନୁହେଁ, ଏଇଟା ଭୁଲ କଥାଟା, ଏଇଟା ଠିକ ନୁହେଁ, ଏଇଟା ହବ ଠିକ, ତାହେଲେ ସେତେବେଳେ ତାର ସେଇ ଯୋଉ ପ୍ରିଭିୟସ ଟାକୁ ୱିକେନ୍ କରିଦିଏ, ପ୍ରିଭିୟସ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ଟାକୁ ୱିକେନ୍ କରିଦିଏ। ଅର୍ଥ that was wrong, now he confined with the current experience or current information. So Crow and Crow says learning is the acquisition of habits, knowledge and attitude. It involves new ways of doing things, and it operates in an individual's attempt to overcome obstacles or to adjust to new situations. It represents progressive changes in behavior. It enables him to satisfy interest to attain goals. This is the definition of learning by Crow and Crow. The eminent educationist, the eminent psychologist, Crow and Crow, define the learning accordingly. Similarly, Woodworth defines any activity can be called learning so far as it develops the individual in any respect, or good or bad, and makes him alter behavior and experiences different from what they would otherwise have been. So, at the conclusion of analyzing all the definitions of the eminent scholars and educationists and psychologists, learning is defined as a process of behavior modification through experience, exercise, and efforts. How? Not through experience and through exercise and through efforts. Learning can be taken place. And learning is a process to modify the behavior of the child, to change the behavior of the child. How can the behavior will be changed? Through experience. For example, suppose we think about the child of a class 8. What the child learns in mathematics, when that child promoted to class 9 and then class 10, when learn mathematics in class 10, so the experience gathered in class 8 and the experience he will gather or she will gather in class 10, that will help him or her to modify their behavior. Means that their past experience will be modified or changed. Suppose certain wrong concept is in the mind, so automatically it helps to change that wrong concept and to work with new concept. So modification or change in behavior is called learning. Learning is nothing, it is the modification and change in behavior. So through different experiences, through participation, through discussion, through reading, listening, participating, the child can gather experience, and as per the experience, the child can modify or change his or her behavior, and that is known as learning. Anybody? Any doubt? What is learning? If anybody has any doubt, what is learning, please ask. Okay?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. Now, come to another question. What is instinctive behavior? What is instinctive behavior? Anybody who can say? What is instinctive behavior? Yes? Kuh.
ଯୋଉଟା ଆମେ ସେ ଜନ୍ମରୁ ଜାଣିଥାନ୍ତି ବା ଆମକୁ କେହି ଶିଖିନାହାନ୍ତି ଏଟା ଅଟୋମେଟିକାଲି ଯୋଉଟା ହୁଏ ଆଉ ଯୋଉ ବିହେଭିୟର ଚେଞ୍ଜେସ୍ ହୁଏ ଯୋଉଟା ଆମେ କରନ୍ତି।
Okay. Anybody? Any other?
Behavior that occurs. So behavior that occurs naturally by
Inherent
Yes.
quality.
one capability.
One by one. Please have patience. After completion of one's response, then other will respond. Okay? Okay. Then continue. Yes?
Sir, it's the behavior that the child acquires by himself without any training or without anything.
Okay. Good. Anybody? Yes.
Inherent quality, sir.
Yes. Continue.
Inherent quality, sir.
Inherent quality. Okay. So, dear learners, a poppy we have already experienced, but think about a calf or a puppy which suck milk from its mother's breast as soon as it is born. A puppy cannot open the eye till 21 days. But how can they live? Sucking milk from the mother. It can make sound while feel hungry, and same happens with the human baby also. Okay. Every creature is born with certain capabilities, means abilities. These capabilities are known as instinctive behavior. That she told. What is that? Inborn ability or capability or potentialities. It is God given or God gift. So, the child acquires different habits, knowledge, attitude, and skill only through classroom transaction or participating in different situations. Which is most essential? Yes?
Participating different situation.
Situations. Very good. So, only classroom transaction is not enough for a child. Therefore, in NCF 2005, there are guiding principles. Who can say how many guiding principles are there in NCF 2005? Who
5, sir.
can say?
5, sir.
5. What are
5,
they?
sir.
What are they?
Fine, sir.
Can you say? In number it is 5. Can you say what are they? Yes?
Shifting the learning from
To
rote
connect.
so shifting the learning from rote memorization, connecting the knowledge to toward the outside world,
Okay.
continuous
Then?
comprehension.
Then any other? 3? You told
Creating
2.
value through
Yes.
creating the value to the student by democratic value created
joyful.
ethics.
Very good. Then other?
Sir, flexible method in test.
Flexibility in examination system. Okay. Then any other? You told 4. Yes, Monica? Tell.
Sir, joyful learning.
What do you mean by joyful learning? What do you mean by joyful learning?
Learning learning should be a joyful situation.
Joyful situation. Okay. Okay.
Fully
Okay.
active participant
Listen.
of students.
Okay. Thank you. So, the child acquires different habits. The child is a late riser, but we try our best to make the child early riser. Okay. Knowledge, attitude, skills, aptitude, perception, personality, everything can be changed and modified. When the child lives with different environment and got information through participating in different occasions, different situations, different activities. So in a classroom, the child participates in different activities, but that is not sufficient. That is not enough. So the environment is very important for the child. The child who lives in metropolitan city, the child who lives in a remote village, there is the basic difference between two are same syllabus is there, inside a classroom, same curricular activities is there, the different activities is there. In a urban city and rural area, either the curriculum is same or different. Yes?
Different, sir.
Same.
Same, sir.
Same.
Curriculum
But children are different in their perception, in their personality. Jagabandhu Mahanta, you mute yourself. Jagabandhu Mahanta, ओके ठीक है सदाबले आमे चेष्टा करूथिबा आम बैकग्राउंड बा कोनसी साउंड फाउंड आसिले अन्य माने डिस्टर्ब हेबेनी ठीक कॉन्शियस रहिथिबा हम समझते हला ओके द चाइल्ड लिव्स इन अर्बन एरिया and rural area or any very remote area, curriculum is same, teacher so activities are same, but learners learning is different because the learner lives in different environment. The activities are organized or the environment is for the child of a urban area is not equal with the environment of a village area or tribal area or in hill stations. Therefore, the experience, perception, attitude, learning, attitude, knowledge, habit is different. You see, have you anybody visited hill stations like Himachal Pradesh Uttarakhand, Jammu Kashmir, or Darjeeling, any other place? Have you any? Have you experience?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
No, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But who has?
अरे ओडिशा में भी है जो मालकानगिरी कोरापुट.
Okay, okay, okay. So one thing is I want to share with you in hill stations like Himachal Pradesh, Jammu Kashmir, the people are living top of the mountains. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes
sir.
or no?
Yes, sir.
You see,
Yes, sir.
those people, those people frequently climb up the mountain and go to their house and climb down the mountain for any profession, occupation, or any purchasing any material from the market. Every moment they are going up and down, up and down. It is their habit. They cannot feel any tired, boring. So it is their natural duty. But if we go there, what we feel? If we once climb off, then we cannot think about second time for climb off. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes
sir.
or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So because we are not habituated. Okay. Suppose a child lives in Bhubaneswar, think about the traffic rules. From the early age, the child learns what is the traffic rule. But a child who lives in a remote area or village area can learn the traffic rule.
No, sir.
No, sir.
There is no scope. There is no scope.
No, sir.
Very good. So these are the difference. So we can say always we have to facilitate our learners to participate, to share their views, opinions in different occasions. Attending marriage party, there is a scope of learning. Attending a seminar, attending conference, attending meeting, there is a scope for learning. So there is a scope for learning of a child in different situations. Therefore, गोटे टाइम रे सिना समस्त जॉइन करतो माने कंटीन्यूअसली मते याडे क्लास नबाक पडुची जॉइन करिया पडुची सो इट इज वेरी डिस्टर्बिंग सो 5-10 मिनिट भीतर हम सब जॉइन कर जिबा ओके लर्निंग इज नॉट एक्वायर्ड बाय बर्थ but it is the process of acquiring competency by using hereditary resources. Hereditary resources are essential for acquiring competency of the learner. Temporary change in behavior is not learning. Temporary change in behavior is not learning. It is very important. Remember it. For example, what is the just we have to discuss what is the difference between learning outcome and learning objective. Anybody? What is the difference between learning outcome and learning objective? Yes.
Learning objective means what we want to teach, what we want to learn after a specific lesson, and outcome means that are the product. What we learn, that are the product.
For example, yes.
Example, sir. Suppose we want to give a lesson to a student about a tree. So at first we have to decide what are the objectives that the student has to learn. So that are the objectives. But after teaching, the students can define the this are the part of a tree. So these are the products.
Okay. Okay. Good. Anybody? Can you share your view? Otusibala have wonderfully shared her opinion. What is the learning objective and what is learning outcome? So anybody, if anybody has any view or opinion, please. Okay. So, Othoswala told two things. One is learning objective and another is learning outcome. So, this whether this learning objective or learning outcome, which is a permanent, which is a temporary. Yes. Out of two, learning objective and learning outcome, which is permanent, which is temporary?
Learning objective temporary permanent. Learning objective permanent.
Yellow is
Learning
permanent.
outcome is temporary.
Learning outcome is temporary.
So learning outcome.
Sure. Are you sure?
Learning outcome is permanent.
Learning outcome is permanent.
Learning outcome is permanent.
Okay, okay. So, just I give an example. Think about the children of class 5. Our objective is, learning objective is, the students will learn the skill of addition. When we facilitate them or help them how to add, after 1 or 2 or 3, the students able to solve the problem using addition, the skill of addition. Okay? What is this? Whether this is learning objective or learning outcome? Yes?
Learning objective.
ଆମେ ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ମିଶାଣ କିଛି ସମୟ ପରେ ଆମେ ଦେଖିଲେ 2-4ଟା କଲା ପରେ ପିଲା ମିଶେଇ ପାରୁଛୁ 2 ଅଙ୍କ ବିଶିଷ୍ଟ ବା 3 ଅଙ୍କ ବିଶିଷ୍ଟ ସଂଖ୍ୟାର ମିଶାଣ କରିପାରୁଛୁ.
Objective.
So here our learning objective fulfilled. Here our learning objective fulfilled. But after 15 days, when we ask these same students for solving the problem using the skill of addition, they cannot able to. They cannot able to. So the learning is temporary. For the timing, they learned, then they forgot. One thing. Suppose the addition, skill of addition will be used in their day-to-day life and create certain situation so that they can not only do it on their paper and pen, but they can do it in different situations. Going to the shop, purchasing something, and then they can learn the skill of addition, subtraction, and multiplication. Similarly, other situation we have to create, engage the students, then they will learn, so that the child cannot forget it forever. Then we can say the learning is permanent. And then we can say the child achieved learning outcome. That is product. That one of your friend told, that is product. After process, they reach at the product, self, not by rote learning. Construction of knowledge helps to have the product. Then we can say it is permanent. आमे एबे जाउचे गोटे रास्ता रे जंगल रास्ता नेकी जाउचे जंगल रास्ता रे आमे किछि सिचुएशन देखिले से सिचुएशन हमर किछि परसेप्शन डेवलप करिवो जो परसेप्शन डेवलप करिवो इज इट परमानेंट टेम्पोररी यस जंगल रास्ता दे जाउचे टेम्पोररी वेरी गुड when that situation will relate to our life in different situations, different occasions, we feel certain feeling, we have certain feeling, same feeling, then gradually the permanent perception will develop. Then it will known as permanent. So temporary change, permanent change is different. So temporary change in behavior cannot be treated as learning, but permanent change in behavior is learning. Learning leads to change in behavior, but this does not necessarily mean that these change always bring about improvement or positive development. What does it mean? Learning leads to change in behavior. In our behavior is modified or changed by our learning, but it is not necessarily changes or modify our behavior positively every time. Kahi kahiba? Suppose put a child into among a group of thieves. What will be the behavior of the child? The behavior like a thief. After 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, the child will become a very good thief or dacoit or robber. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So, learning, acquisition of new experience. You see the PPT now. Synthesis and organization of the old and new experience. The child has old experience and the child have frequently you are learned. One information to you all. आमे सबुबले मु 5टा पूर्वरु खोला रखिछि आमे मैक्सिमम 5टा 15 भितरे जॉइन करिवा बुझिवाला 4टा 50 रु 5टा 15 भितरे आमे समय जॉइन कर जिवा 25 मिनिट समय हमकु देले आमे यदि फ्रीक्वेंटली एमति जॉइन करूथिबा मु एरे मोर फ्लो ब्रेक करूछि कारण मु जॉइन करूछि क्लास नउछि आमे टे केयरफुल हवा आमे जते बेले आमे टाइम त हमकु मिलिछ ना कैलेंडर हमकु पाइछे 5टा 7टा में डिस्कशन करिबा बिफोर 10 मिनिट्स आई विल ओपन यू ट्राई टू जॉइन एंड 15 पर आ जॉइन करेबी नाही सूचना इंफॉर्मेशन देली 5टा 15 पर आ कालटू जॉइन करेबी नाही बुझियाला समस्त चेष्टा करिवो 5टा 15 भीतर जॉइन करिया पई ओके नाउ think about all these. There are 4 statements. One is synthesis and organization of the old and new experience, retention of old experience in the form of impression or skills, development and modification of experience, creation of new experience. A charita statement अछि under acquisition of new experience. Now think yourself about all the 4 statements. टिके गोटे मिनिट ए चारिटा का स्टेटमेंट को पढ़ एवं चिंता कर 1 minute deeply go through all the 4 statements.
शो करना हेलो सर प्रणाम और शो करूने
हां पीपीटी हां यस देखि पार ना ओके
नहीं सर मैं देखि पाने
केही देखि पार ना पीपीटी
ना सर देखि दउ सर मु बिना दिन
No, sir, ଆମେ ଦେଖିପାରୁଛୁ।
yes sir show କରୁଛି sir
करथला मु कोडे
ओके 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 हां
ତାଙ୍କର
ताकर टी
network
नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम थिबो टिके प्लेस चेंज कर दियो हो जिवो टे प्लेस चेंज कर दियो
ଶୁଣନ୍ତୁ ବିନୋଦ
ना सर शो करथला मु
ବିନୋଦିନୀ
लेखुतली
ମ୍ୟାଡାମ
लेखुतली कोडे हाथ मार देले आउ शो
ଚେକ୍ କରନ୍ତୁ ନହେଲେ ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ସଆପ ରେ ପଠେଇ ଦିଅ ଚେକ୍ କରନ୍ତୁ ଗ୍ରୁପରେ
आज्ञा
Okay. Now come to the discussion. The first statement is synthesis and organization of the old and new experience. What does it mean? Anybody? Yes, Vinodini? Tell.
Sir, again, please question.
I have a question.
Synthesis and organization of the old and new experience. এই স্টেটমেন্টর অর্থ কোন বুঝুছ?
Sir, we have some old experience, and after learning, we gather some new experience. So combining these two, what we form, that is the final learning.
Very good, very good. Thank you. So, in the paper 1, in BES 121, Rising sir very wonderfully explained the schema, accommodation, assimilation. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Very
sir.
wonderfully, with nice examples are explained. So here that happens. When we have old experience and we acquire new experience, we accommodate, we assimilate. That is known as synthesis. Think about Bloom's taxonomy. Knowledge type, understanding, application, then other who can say?
Then analysis, synthesis, evaluation. Analysis, synthesis, evaluation.
Very good. Hello. Online class. Yes. Knowledge, understanding, application, then analysis,
And skill.
synthesis,
Skill.
then evaluation.
Skill.
No, skill no hai, evaluation. Bloom's taxonomy. When we think about the cognitive area, cognitive, affective, psychomotor, 3 areas are there, 3 domains are there. When we think about the first domain, what is that? The first domain is
Cognitive
domain. There are 6: knowledge, understanding, then application, analyze, synthesize, and evaluation. When we think Bloom's revised taxonomy, first one is what? Who can say?
Sir,
Bloom's revised taxonomy.
first one is knowledge, understand, apply.
No, it is not knowledge. Knowledge is known as remembering. Very good.
The first one is remember.
Understanding, apply.
Then
Understand, application, analysis, evaluation, then create.
okay. Very good. So here is the synthesis part. That as per Bloom's taxonomy, analysis then synthesis. समझने म्यूट कर जीवा पूरी रश्मिता स्वाई म्यूट योरसेल्फ. Okay, रश्मिता स्वाई म्यूट योरसेल्फ. रश्मिता स्वाई. बैकग्राउंड वॉइस गुड़ा पळे आसुची. Okay. Okay. So another is retention of old experience in the form of impression or skills. Retention of old experience in the form of impression or skills. Who can say? What is it? Yes?
Question.
Retention of old experience in the form of impression or skills. এই স্টেটমেন্ট অর্থ কোন বুঝুছ?
But some changes in old experience.
So when you get new experience, you have to compare with old experience, which are essential, and the skills, the essential points of old experience are retained. Third is development and modification of experience. So after one is synthesis, another is retention of old experience, then you develop and modify the new experience and change your old experience. Then you create new knowledge or new information, new skill. অর্থাৎ
When a student try to learn addition of 2-digit number, then he reminds the addition of first digit, 1-digit number. That is the retention of old experience for the
Very good.
it acts as a skill.
very good, very good, very good. So accordingly, the child develops his experience and modify his experience, then create a new experience. But that is known as learning. That is also known as learning. Then growth and increase of all these is experience. ଯେତେ ପ୍ରକାର ଅନୁଭବ ପିଲା ଆଣିଲା, every experience is treated as learning. So learning is a process by which an individual can modify his or her behavior as a result of interaction in a situation. Everybody know it. Learning is a process through which the child modifies his or her behavior as a result of interaction in a new situation. It helps in bringing desirable changes in behavior, attaining proper adjustment, and attaining proper growth and development. The child reaches from childhood to adolescence period, adolescence period to adulthood period. So in every stage, there is adjustment. There is proper growth and development. Without proper growth and development, without proper adjustment, we cannot say there is a change, there is a modification. And if there is no change, no modification, there is no learning. So learning must possesses with certain modification, change, adjustment, and it relates to your growth and development of the child. Then what is not learning? You see, what is not learning? If bright light falls on our eyes, immediately we close our eyelids. It is an instant behavior. This is not learning, but reflection. Go through this statement. ସମସ୍ତେ ପିପିଟି ଦେଖ এই statementଟାକୁ. ଏଠି 3-4ଟା statement ଅଛି ଯୋଉଗୁଡାକ learning ନୁହଁ. Bright light falls on our eyes. Immediately we close our eyelids. It is natural process. तुम आखि के गोटे लाइट पकई देला, हठात तुमको करो आखिटा बंद कर दबो. Can we say it is learning?
No, sir.
No, it is not learning. It is just instant behavior. Okay, another situation.
Sir, please
yes.
one question, sir.
Kuha.
Sir, how we understand this is learning or a natural process? How difference?
Repeat it. Again, repeat your question. Yes.
How we understand this is natural process or learning?
This is
any method. How I understand that this is learning or not?
learning.
Like,
Okay, your question is how can we know this is learning or this is not learning? Am I
Not
clear?
learning, right, sir? Right, sir. Right,
Okay,
sir.
okay, okay. You see, therefore, we are discussing 4 situations. One situation is here. Just we put the light to your eyes, you close your eyelids. So it is your behavior. It is natural behavior. This is one situation. Another situation, the child starts crying when or he feels hungry. Attraction towards opposite sex. These behaviors are biological instincts. So this is also not learning. Second situation says we feel hungry. When we feel hungry, we react certain in different ways. Child reacts like crying. We react like showing different behavior when we feel hungry. Similarly, opposite sex attraction. Boys, girls, girls, boys. It is biological instinct. ତୁମେ କିଛି ଶିକ୍ଷା ଦିଅ ନ ଦିଅ କିନ୍ତୁ ବୟସ ଆସିଲେ ଅପୋଜିଟ୍ ସେକ୍ସ ପ୍ରତି ଆକର୍ଷଣ ରହିବ. So it is biological need. So this is not learning. Similarly, modification or change in behavior takes place due to accidents or psychological defects. Certain modification in behavior changes due to accident. Suppose ମୁଁ frequently move କରୁଥିଲି bike ରେ. If I will meet the accident, then I will have fear. I change my behavior. I modify my behavior. I don't like to drive on road. So that is not learning. That occurs due to accident, due to fear. I avoid the riding a bicycle or any bike, or psychological defect. Psychological means psychological change. Suppose someone is going and observe some people came and attacked the few people, and the blood made him psychologically depressed. Therefore, the man or the individual cannot interested to go outside the home. So this is due to psychological fear, cannot get outside the home. We cannot say this is learning. This is psychological problem. So in this way, from our experience, you Chandan, you understand these are the different situations. When we involve in all these
Sir,
situations,
sir,
yes.
cycle riding, this is learning or behavior?
No. This is a skill. Cycle riding is a skill.
This
Everybody
is not
cannot ride
learning.
cycle. Yes, it is
growth
learning.
development.
Yes, it is learning. Cycle riding is learning. ମୁଁ ତ
Learning through maturation.
କଣ କହିଲ ଶୁଭିଲାନି?
Learning through maturation.
ମୁଁ 8 ମାସ ହେଲା ସାଇକେଲଟା କିଣିକି ଥୋଇଛି, ମୋ ପୁଅ ଶିଖି ପାରୁନି। କିନ୍ତୁ ଆମେ ଏଇନା କଣ ଡିସ୍କସନ କରୁଥିଲେ? Attraction for opposite sex, feeling of hunger, no one can teach. Automatically it will comes to. So that is not learning. Automatically that will comes to. But learning through modification of behavior or change of behavior, we learn, we gather experience, skill. So riding bicycle is also learning. Any doubt?
Sir,
ଆଉ କିଛି doubt ଅଛି ପଚାର।
sir ଛୋଟ ପିଲାଟି ନିଆଁରେ ହାତ ଲଗେଇଲେ ହାତ ଜଳି ଯାଉଛି, ତାପରଠୁ ସେ ଆଉ ନିଆଁରେ ହାତ ଦେଉନାହିଁ, ସେଇଟା ସାର୍ କଣ କୁହାଯିବ? ଭୟ କୁହାଯିବ ନା ଲର୍ନିଂ କୁହାଯିବ?
ଆଚ୍ଛା, ଆମେ କଣ ଫିଲ୍ କରୁଛେ? What we are feeling?
ସାର୍ ମୁଁ ଭାବୁଛି ସେ ଲର୍ନ କଲା ବୋଲି, କାହିଁକି ନା ସେ ପରବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ସମୟରେ ଜାଣିଲା ଯେ ଏଠି ଦେଲେ ଆଘାତ ପାଉଛି, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ସେଠି ଆଉ ଦଉନାହିଁ।
Yes, there is experience. When touch the fire, got experience that there is a danger. I feel pain. Therefore, avoid the situation. This is learning. You are right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Anybody?
Sir, mobile रे game खेलिबाटा।
Mobile रे game खेलिबाटा कौन feel करूछ?
Addiction.
Huh?
Addiction.
Yes. ଶୁଣ
So learning.
ଗେମ୍ ପ୍ଲେ yes yes କଣ କହିବା କଥା କହିଦିଅ ମୁଁ କହିବି ତାପରେ yes
So mobile game it's a type of learning.
it is learning ଶୁଣ ଏଇନା ତମକୁ ମୁଁ କହିବି ଆସ ଆମେ ଚେସ୍ ଖେଳିବା ତମ ଭିତରୁ କେତେ ଜଣ ଚେସ୍ ଖେଳ ଜାଣିଛ
ଜାଣିଛୁ
ତମେ ଜାଣିଛ
Yes sir.
ପଦ୍ମଲୋଚନ ଜାଣିଛ yes
ଆଜ୍ଞା
anybody ଆଚ୍ଛା ପଦ୍ମଲୋଚନ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଚେସ୍ ଖେଳ ତମେ ଜାଣିଲ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଟାଇମ କେମିତି ଜାଣିଲ
ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ସାର୍ ଆମ ଘରେ ଗୋଟେ ଛୁଆ କାମ କରୁଥିଲା ମାନେ ଛୋଟ ଛୁଆଟେ ସିଏ ମତେ ଶିଖେଇଲା
yes
ସେଦିନ ସିଏ ମୋ ଗୁରୁ ଆଉ ସେଇ ଫାଷ୍ଟ ବେଚ୍ ରେ ହିଁ ମୁଁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ହରେଇଲି କିନ୍ତୁ ମୁଁ ସବୁବେଳେ ମାନିବି ଯେ ସିଏ
ତାହେଲେ
ମୋ
what
ଗୁରୁ
is
ଚେସ୍
learning
ଖେଳିଲେ
yes what is learning whether it is learning or not
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଲର୍ନିଂ
Yes,
ତୁମେ
sir.
ଅଟୋମେଟିକ ଶିଖି ଯାଇଛ
Learning, sir.
spontaneously yes learning so game is a learning okay can we proceed or any doubt discuss for we'll devote some time for discussion
No, sir,
Sir,
proceed.
what we do
No,
is
no, sir.
learning,
Hello,
and what we do
sir.
subconsciously, that is not learning.
Sir,
So when mosquito bites us, then our hand raises automatically. That is not learning. It's a continuous process. But when we learn something with a conscious mind, that is called learning.
okay okay
then birth child that have no conscious, they not learn anything. Just example, a birth child, just birth,
Then
he his
a
mother
newly born
breastfeeding
baby
her.
learns,
So
starts
these are
crying.
the
That means
instinctive
he
here.
is
Sir, I
working
told
with
you, sir.
subconscious
ଜଣେ
mind.
ଜଣେ କୁହନ୍ତୁ ଜଣେ ଜଣେ
ଆମେ ସଦାବେଳେ ଜଣେ ଜଣେ କହିଲେ ସମସ୍ତେ ଶୁଣିପାରିବା ହେଲା ହଁ ଜଣେ କିଏ କୁହ yes
ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ସାନ ପିଲାଟେ ଜନ୍ମ ହଉଛି ସିଏ ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ କାନ୍ଦିବା ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ କରୁଛି ଆଉ ହସିବା ଶିଖୁଛି ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ଶିଖୁଛି କିନ୍ତୁ କାନ୍ଦିବାଟା ସିଏ ପୁରା ଜନ୍ମରୁ ଶିଖିକି ଆସୁଛି କାନ୍ଦିବାଟା ତାର ନଟ୍ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ କିନ୍ତୁ ହସିବା କାହା ସହିତ କଥା ହବା ସେଟା ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ କଲା ସିଏ।
okay ଆଉ କଣ କହୁଥିଲ
No, sir.
So
Actual
these are all
child learn warm to Tom.
the child learns to talk speaking
No, no
is it your
speaking.
question
Child, every child learn from warm to Tom. Right, sir?
yes you want
Before
to
birth,
term yes
then when a new baby born, he crying, his mother give her a breastfeeding. But next time he crying, he automatically search the breast and feeding. That is learn or behavior.
not learn
these are
you want to
instinctive
know
here.
whether it is learn or not learn
Yes.
yes yes
Sir,
anybody
these
what
are
is it
instinct behavior.
No.
Sir, these are instinct behavior as you
this is
explained
instant
before.
behavior
I
okay
explain.
okay okay Chandan this is your question is related to when the child we discussed before that Atto Shivala told when it is related to the instinct behavior of the child it is not learning when another environmental situation is related to it what Tanuja explained very wonderfully giving an example that is learning okay so instinctive behavior comes automatically it is the spontaneous so it is not learning but learning can be takes place from home to term because think about the experience of um, Arjuna's son Abhimanyu, he learned the skill of warfare when inside the mother's womb. The skill he learned after listening. Okay, so that was an example, but the instinctive behavior is not related to learning. It is not learning. Okay, let us proceed. Can we proceed now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
So, what are the nature of learning? So, nature of learning are different. Like learning is a process and not a product. We have already discussed number of examples how learning is a process and it is a lifelong process, like attitudes, fear, gesture, motor skill, language skill are the products of learning. They are not learning themselves. Suppose you observe your students, some students are following the activities of the best cricketers because the cricketers are liking by everybody. Suppose one child is very favorable for the hero, some name of some hero or a heroine. So always you see the photo of that hero will with him or her. So this is a process and it comes from different behavioral change and it is a lifelong process. Learning is purposeful and goal directed. So if there is no purpose, there is no goal, we cannot say it is learning. So learning is purposeful and goal directed. So then learning generally involves some degree of a performance like preparation for examination. Following rote learning is not permanent learning. It is a very good example. Suppose there is an example, an examination. Now you also are going to face the examination, yes or no? ଏବେ ଡିସେମ୍ବରରେ ସବୁ ପରୀକ୍ଷା ଦେବଟି?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
December. Yes. So preparation for examination through rote learning is not permanent learning. But construction of knowledge is permanent learning. କାରଣ ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ପରୀକ୍ଷା ପାଇଁ ପ୍ରସ୍ତୁତ ହଉ ବହୁତ ପାଠ ଆମେ ବୁଝି ନଥାଉ। ଯେହେତୁ ପରୀକ୍ଷାର ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଆସିବ ଆମେ ତାକୁ ଘୋଷାଘୋଷ କରି ମନେ ରଖି ଦେଇଦେଉ, ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିସ କରିକି ମନେ ରଖିଦେଉ। After examination, if the next day someone will ask us, we cannot say, we cannot reply. This is temporary. Learning is universal and continuous. It is not restricted to any age, sex, race or culture. Taking admission in IGNOU, any course, there is no restriction for age. Even if at the age of 80, one can have any degree from IGNOU. So learning is universal and it is continuous. It is not related to any sex, any race, any age. It is a never-ending process. Learning is a never-ending process. Learning prepares for adjustment. Learning helps the individuals to adjust with the new situation. Suppose you are studying in the rural school. After completing HSC examination, you enroll in the BJB college or Evensa college or ACS college, Puri. So there is urban area. So you spend your 15 or 16 years at rural area. When you go to live in the urban area, there is a change. And that change, that adjustment can be possible in that new situation due to learning. And learning prepares for adjustment. Learning is comprehensive. The scope of learning spreads over each and every dimension of life. It is a very comprehensive process which covers all domains like cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Three things are interrelated. Simultaneously, when there is a cognitive development, there is also affective development. There is also psychomotor development. Okay, so this is comprehensive. So Gandhi's definition, we may remember here. What Gandhiji told? all-round development of a child means development in the body, mind, and spirit. Body, the physical structure, that is psychomotor. Mind, that is cognitive, this is cognitive. Spirit, it relates to hearts, that is affective. So mind, heart, and our hand. The coordination of all these three things are comprehensive. So learning is related to all these comprehensive development of the individual. Similarly, learning is organizing experience and training of an individual helps to produce changes in behavior. So learning is an organizing experience. It is not related to unorganized. Instincts and reflexes are not learning.
Sir,
Just
one
we
left.
discussed.
Sir, one left. Learning is change in response or behavior may be favorable or unfavorable.
Sandhyarani, you tell and again. You ask again. Yes. What is your question?
Sir, one is left. Learning is change in response or behavior may be favorable or unfavorable.
May be favorable. I
Yes,
cannot hear
sir.
you. ମୁଁ ଯୋଡ଼ାଏ ଶବ୍ଦ ତମର ଶୁଣିଲି ଫେଭରେବୁଲ ଅନଫେଭରେବୁଲ ତା ପୂର୍ବରୁ କ'ଣ କହିଥିଲ?
Sir, this
ସେ
is
4
Yes.
ନମ୍ବର ପଏଣ୍ଟ ଟାକୁ ଆଉ ଥରେ ପ୍ରେସକ୍ରାଇବ କରିବାକୁ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ବୋଧେ।
କୋଉଟା ଏଟା ଯୋଉ
learning is change in response
Learning
or
is change
behavior may be
in
favorable
response or
or
behavior
unfavorable.
may be favorable.
ପୂର୍ବଟା
Yes, sir.
ଆ ପୂର୍ବ ସ୍ଲାଇଡ୍ ରେ ଥିଲା ତ ନା ଏଇ ସ୍ଲାଇଡ୍ ରେ ଅଛି?
ସେଟା ଅଛି ଏଇ ସ୍ଲାଇଡ୍ ରେ
No,
ଅଛି
sir.
4 ନମ୍ବର ପଏଣ୍ଟ।
ଏଇ ସ୍ଲାଇଡ୍ ରେ ଅଛି।
ଏଇ ସ୍ଲାଇଡ୍ ର 1 ନମ୍ବର ପଏଣ୍ଟ ନା 2 ନମ୍ବର?
4 ନମ୍ବର
Sir,
4
learning is
ନମ୍ବର।
comprehensive or
ସରି
4 ନମ୍ବର ପଏଣ୍ଟ।
ଲର୍ନିଂ ଓକେ ମୁଁ ତ ସେ ଯାଏଁ ଆସିନି। ମୁଁ ଏଠି ଇନଷ୍ଟିଙ୍କ୍ଟିଭ ରିଫ୍ଲେକ୍ସରେ ଥିଲି ନା ମୁଁ ତ 4th ପଏଣ୍ଟ କୁ ଆସିନି।
ବୁକ୍ ରେ ଟିକେ ଆଗ ପଛ ଦେଇ ଦେଇଛି।
ମାନେ ଓ ବୁକ୍ ରେ ଦେଇ ଦେଇଛି ଓକେ। ସୋ ମୁଁ ଏଇ ପଏଣ୍ଟ ଲାଷ୍ଟ କୁ ସେ ଯୋଉ ରଖିଛି ନା।
ବୁକ୍ ରେ ଆଗେ ଦେଇ ଦେଇଛି ଫାଷ୍ଟ ଦେଇ ଦେଇଛି ତ ଏଟା।
ଓକେ ହଁ ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ହ୍ୟାଲୋ ହଁ ମୁଁ ଅଛି ଗୋଟେ କ୍ଲାସରେ କ୍ଲାସ ସରିଯାଉ ହେଲା। ଓକେ ସୋ ମୁଁ ଆସୁଛି ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟାରାଣୀ ସେଠିକି ଯାଉଛି। Instincts and reflexes are not learning. Just we have already discussed vividly. When there is an instincts or reflexes, we cannot say these are learning. Learning does not include changes in behavior on account of maturation, fatigue, illness or drugs. जड़े मद पी की सोइला कैन वी से इट इज लर्निंग? नो जन को इलनेस जो तार भूल रेस्पॉन्स कला बा भूल कंसेप्शन तार हैला कैन वी से इट इज लर्निंग? नो, इट इज नॉट लर्निंग. Similarly, due to maturation, when we got matured, so we react, we behave differently. So we cannot say it is also learning. Learning is change in response or behavior may be favorable or unfavorable. Learning is change in response or behavior. May be favorable, may be unfavorable. Your response or change may be favorable or your behavior may be unfavorable. That is also learning. এই পয়েন্টটা তো সন্ধ্যারাণী have you any doubt এই পয়েন্ট রে তো? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes sir, yes sir.
हाँ हाँ अच्छा favorable unfavorable it is related to your behavior or response. Suppose I will ask a question to a student. The response may be favorable, the response may be unfavorable. Whose response? Student's response. आमे बेले बेले देखि थाउ केते गुडे सिचुएशन अछि आमे पिला को पचाला बेले से जो उत्तर गुडी कह आमे चाहुथिबा उत्तर पिला देई नथिबो किंतु जो उत्तर देइथिबो से उत्तरटा मध्य आमे ଅନାଦର କରିପାରିବା ନାହିଁ ମାନେ ଅଗ୍ରାହ୍ୟ କରିପାରିବା ନାହିଁ। ଏଭଳି ସିଚୁଏସନ ଆସେ ନା ଆସେନି?
Yes, sir. Assess.
Yes, sir.
ଆସେ। The response we
Yes.
desire, that we say it is favorable. But the response we do not desire, that we say it is unfavorable. But that unfavorable response, if it is related to the experience or modification or change of behavior, that is also known as learning. ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ପିଲାକୁ ପଚାରିଲେ ସ୍କୁଲ କାହିଁ ଯାଉନୁ, ପିଲାଟି ମୋର ଉତ୍ତର ମୁଁ କଣ ଚାହିଁବି, ସାର୍ ମୋ ଦେହ ଖରାପ ଥିଲା କି ମାମୁଁ ଘରକୁ ପଳେଇଥିଲି। କିନ୍ତୁ ପିଲାଟି ଉତ୍ତର ଦବ ନେଗେଟିଭଲି। କଣ ଦେଇପାରେ ବୋଲି ଆମେ ଭାବିବା? ଆମେ କଣ ଭାବିବା, କଣ ଦେଇପାରେ ଉତ୍ତର? ଏଇ କଥା ନ କହି ସେ କଣ କହିପାରେ?
ମୋ ଇଚ୍ଛା ହେଲାନି ମାନେ ଆସିବାକୁ ଇଚ୍ଛା ହେଲାନି।
ମୁଁ ନ ଗଲେ କିସ ହେଲା?
ନାଇଁ କିସ ହେଲା ତ କହିବନି, ମୋ ଇଚ୍ଛା ହେଲାନି। ୟେସ୍ ୟେସ୍, ମୁଁ ପାଠ ପଢିବିନି, ସାର୍ ମୁଁ ଯାଉନି, ସେ ସାର୍ କି ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ମତେ ସଦାବେଳେ ବାଡଉଛନ୍ତି, ସେ ଭଲ
ମୋ
ପାଉନାହାନ୍ତି।
ସାର୍ଟ ଚିରିଗଲା।
ହଁ ସାର୍ଟ ଚିରିଗଲା। So number of experience is there. The child's response related to his or her experience. So the behavior or response may be favorable, may be unfavorable, but that comes from his experience. As it relates to the experience of the child, so it is learning. Another example. ଚୋର ଚୋରି କରିବା ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ନା ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ନୁହେଁ? ଚୋରି କରିବାର ସ୍କିଲ୍ ଶିଖିବା, ଆମେ କଣ ଭାବିବା ଏଟାକୁ, ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ନା ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ନୁହେଁ?
Bad habit.
Skill, sir.
Bad habits na skill.
No, no, learning. This is learning.
ଚୋରି କରିବାଟା ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ନୁହେଁ କୁହ।
This is also unfavorable.
Learning.
This
No,
is
sir.
unfavorable.
Learn.
This is unfavorable.
Yes, sir.
କ୍ରାଇମ କରିବା,
Unfavorable.
ହଁ କୁହ।
ସାର୍
ହଁ
ସାର୍ ମୁଁ କହିଲି ସାର୍
Yes, sir.
ସାର୍ ଗୋଟେ କଥା ମୁଁ କହିଲି ସପୋଜ ସାର୍ ମୁଁ ସ୍ମୋକିଂ ରେ ମାନେ ସ୍ମୋକିଂ ଆଜି ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ କଲି କଣ୍ଟିନ୍ୟୁଅସ୍ ମୋର ସ୍ମୋକିଂ ଟା ହ୍ୟାବିଟ ହେଇଗଲା ତ ଏଟା ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ନୁହଁ ବ୍ୟାଡ୍ ହ୍ୟାବିଟ୍ସ ରେ ଯିବ ନା ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ
Yes.
ରେ ଯିବ ନା ମୁଁ ଶିଖିଗଲି ନା ସିଗାରେଟ ଟା ନା
Learning no, sir.
ସିଗାରେଟ ଟଣାଟା, ତୁମର ସିଗାରେଟ ଟାଣିବାଟା, ମଦ ପିଇବାଟା, ଏସବୁ ଗୁଡାକ ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ
Learning no, sir.
ଫର୍ମାଲ ୱେରେ ଶିଖିଥାଉ କି? ମଦ
ନା ସାର୍ କୁସଙ୍ଗରେ ପଡିକି ମାନେ ହ୍ୟାବିଟ୍ସ ହେଇଥିବେ ହ୍ୟାବିଟ୍ସ
ଗୋଟେ ସାର୍ ନମସ୍କାର।
That is not all.
କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଅଛି।
ଜାଣୁଛନ୍ତି କୁସ ପୁଣି କରୁଛନ୍ତି କୁସ।
କଣ ଜାଣିତେ ଚାହୁଁଛି ମୁଁ କହିବି ସାର୍
ମୁଁ ସାର୍ କ୍ଲାସଟା ସରିଲା ଆପଣ ଫୋନ କରୁଛି। ହଁ ଟିକେ ଆସିବା, ଏଇଟା ଡାଇରେକ୍ଟର ସାର୍ ଫୋନ କରିଥିଲେ ତ ଟିକେ କଥା ହଉଥିଲି, ଇଗ୍ନୋର ଡାଇରେକ୍ଟର ସାର୍। ଓକେ, ଆଚ୍ଛା କହିବା, ମୁଁ ଆଉ ଶୁଣିପାରିଲିନି କଣ ସବୁ ରେସ୍ପଣ୍ଡ ଦେଲା, ମୁଁ ଆଉ ଶୁଣିପାରିଲିନି। ଅଗେନ୍ କମ୍ ଟୁ ଆୱାର ଡିସ୍କସନ୍। ଓକେ ଓକେ, ସୋ ହାଭ୍ ୟୁ ଆନ୍
ମୁଁ କହିଲି
ଆଇଡିଆ?
କଣ୍ଟିନ୍ୟୁଅସ୍ ସ୍ମୋକିଂ ରେ ମୁଁ ଅଭ୍ୟସ୍ତ କଲି
ହଁ,
ମୁଁ ଅଭ୍ୟସ୍ତ କଲି ସେଟା ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ନା ହ୍ୟାବିଟ୍ସ
habit, that is habit.
ଶିଖିଲି
সেটা শিখুনে, smoking is not, it is not learn, smoking is not learning. You can
Yes,
adapt
sir.
it, you can adapt it, visualizing others, but this is not learning. It cannot change your behavior. Suppose you are smoking, so you are habituated with smoking, but when you can leave it, there is no modification in your behavior or change in behavior. तुम व्यवहार किसी परिवर्तन आनुनी, मु स्मोकिंग करूची, स्मोकिंग छाड़ देली, मद पिउची, मद छाड़ देली, मो व्यवहार कोन परिवर्तन आनला? So it is a bad habit. मते किए एटा पचार थिले जो फेवरेबल अनफेवरेबल, संध्या रानी बोधे, संध्या रानी, are you in the meeting? Perhaps, okay. So, then proceed. Learning and maturation. Maturation is a natural process and it involves changes that are associated with normal growth. These changes are independent of activity, practice, and experience. Change in behavior on account of acquired or learned behavior is not learning. Here, learning and maturation is there. Maturation comes as per growth and development of the child. As age proceeds on, so growth accordingly develops and development is also proceeds. And as for the growth and development, the child learns, gets maturation in mind. In mind becomes mature. So maturation helps to take a right decision. Maturation help to give more focus on which aspect of our activities that is important. So learning and maturation is very important aspect of our life, of every individual's life. Then learning and teaching.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, sir, ये जो लाइन टा हमर रहला चेंज इन सर टिके पेस्ट करे चेंज
Yes. Yes.
Sir, one thing I want to clear, sir.
हमर जो सर रहला
Hello.
चेंज इन बिहेवियर ऑन अकाउंट ऑफ acquired और learned behavior is not learning से सर टिके मुझे change in behavior on account of acquired or learned behavior is not learning.
देखो जी
Learning and maturation.
हाँ हम देखो जी परा these changes are independent and active practice and experience. Change in behavior is not on account of acquired or learned behavior.
It's not.
Sorry. এটা not নাই এটা কাটো ମୁଁ এটা wrong ରେ not লাগি ଯାଇଛି
ମୁଁ confuse ହେଇ ଗଲି ଫେରି ସେ
ହଁ ନାଇଁ you are right ମୁଁ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ପଚାରୁଛି ନା change in behavior on account of acquired or learned behavior is learning.
Is learning, yes sir.
Is learning. Very good. Yes. Not টা কাটি দাও
Thank you.
Okay.
Sir, one thing I want to clear, sir.
Yes.
Sir, that is learning means behavioral change, right, sir?
Yes, right.
If behavior not change, that is not learning.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Change and modification.
Sir, one doubt.
Both.
Sir, one doubt.
I go to
Permanent
change and modification. Both.
Change and change and modification.
Yes.
If not modification, only change.
Also permanent.
Change. Yes. No problem. Change, either change or modification or both.
Both.
Suppose
Okay,
a behavior can be changed totally.
It's called learning.
Suppose there is partially or modification or both. No problem. Yes, Mrutiranjan told. Mrutiranjan, what is your question?
Previously अपन कहले हमरो सर प्रीवियसली जेमते आपण कहले हमरो ड्रिंक्स आ स्मोकिंग ता बैड हैबिट सेमते चोरी करिवाटा सर कोन हला हम कन्फर्म हे पालिनी सेटा बैड हैबिट्स या लर्निंग
No. चोरी करिवाटा गोटे स्किल सुनो लर्निंग ता रिलेटेड टू स्किल तमे कोन चाहिले ना चोरी कर परिबो मु ना चाहिले चोरी कर परिबी किंतु मु चाहिले ना स्मोकिंग कर परिबी ड्रिंक कर परिबी तम भी चाहिले कर परिबो हो ना नहीं Mrutiranjan, come to my point.
Yes, sir.
So
सर समस्त समय से पॉसिबल होबनी ड्रिंक्स
yes नहीं ड्रिंक्स अब कहूचे तमे पॉसिबल हबा न हबा सेटा अलग कथा किंतु स्मोकिंग ता तमे ना कहिले जमके ना तुमको दिया हबो लाख टका दिया हबो स्मोक करो करबनी स्मोक you like it therefore you cannot do but if there is a compulsion तो कहबो एटा ड्रिंक्स कले ड्रिंक्स करी घंटा बसिले तुमको ए चाकेटा मिलिबो करबनी
obviously sir
आसी गला ना
कहबो तुमे चोरी करो कोई ना जे कि लाख टका दिया हम लाख टका धरी कोटी टका देले हम चोरी कर परिबी कैन यू डू इट कले मु धरा पड़िबी
yes sir
अरे सर पुलिस को
That is
5,000
related
तो
to
छाड़ दे,
skill. Eh?
पुलिस को 5,000 देले छाड़ दे 95 रहला
ये छाड़िबा अलगा कथा छाड़िबा स्किल कथा हम पढिछि स्किल दैट इज अ स्किल जने पॉकेट रु आनिबा जो पॉकेट मार करंती दैट इज अ स्किल दैट इज अ टेक्निक सो दे प्रैक्टिस्ड इट बिफोर द हैंड बुझियो छ ना नहीं
ଆଉ
ये
ସାର୍
लर्निंग रे बाबा अनफेवरेबल यस जयश्री
ଚୋରି କରିବା ବି କ୍ରାଇମ କିନ୍ତୁ ସାର୍ ଚୋରି କରିବା ବି କ୍ରାଇମ ଭିତରେ ଇନକ୍ଲୁଡ ହଉଛି କିନ୍ତୁ ଡ୍ରିଙ୍କସ କରିବା କି ସିଗାରେଟ ଟାଣିବା ତ କ୍ରାଇମ ଭିତରେ ଇନକ୍ଲୁଡ ହଉନି।
क्राइम क्राइम पब्लिक प्लेस रे क्राइम
अनफेवरेबल हमें जोड़े वर्ड एने
पब्लिक
पढ़िले
प्लेस रे
फेवरेबल
କ୍ରାଇମ
favorable अरे सुनो learning is favorable or unfavorable that is positive aspect negative aspect but it is related to the skill and behavior बुझियो छ नहीं therefore it is learning but it is unfavorable not constructive okay can we proceed now
Yes, sir.
lovely lipsa
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
mute yourself lovely lipsa mute yourself lovely lipsa आमे साधारणतः घरे रहू टीवी लगी पिला कर कनसियस रहा ओके सो लर्निंग एंड टीचिंग सो टीचिंग इज ए सिस्टम ऑफ एक्शंस which induce learning through interpersonal relationships teaching is a system of actions which induce learning teaching helps or facilitates children for learning through interpersonal relationship teacher teacher relationship teacher student relationship student student relationship teacher student parents relationship these are known as interpersonal relationship so when we think about teaching and learning
Sir,
process कौन कहला
Sir, induce means
induce
teaching is a system of action which induce learning through interpersonal
encourage
relationships.
induce means encourage lead encourage induce means lead encourage through interpersonal relationships so teaching is an activity which helps the learner for learning how now through interpersonal relationship suppose there is a good relationship between teacher student 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 teacher student parents so these relationship helps to involve in different activities both teacher and student then automatically the child or the learner can get scope for learning this is the first point any doubt of this first point second one is there teaching is a purposeful social and professional activity teaching is a purposeful social and professional activity yes or no inside a class or outside the classroom in the school premises what activities we are doing and being a teacher every activity is related to our profession teaching profession and it is also related to our social activities so we give frequently giving the example of social activities and link the students experience with the social activities yes or no the ultimate goal of teaching is to bring about development of a child that is learning of the child so teaching ultimate goal is how my child will learn how my child will acquire experience gather experience total task of teaching is to provide a conducive environment to the child for learning and helping him in exploring his potential so every child has potential power inside it so it is the duty of a teacher through organizing teaching learning activity we have to draw out the potentialities of the child पिला भितरे जो अंतर्निहित ज्ञान अच्छी ताकू बाहर को आनिबा प्रकाश करिबा होची हमर काम कहा द्वारा थ्रू ऑर्गेनाइजिंग टीचिंग लर्निंग एक्टिविटीज सो Learning and teaching both are complementary to each other. So without teaching, there is no better scope of learning. There is a scope. We cannot say without teaching there is no learning. Without teaching there is a scope of learning. But if we think about the orderly or systematic way of learning, so teaching is essential. नॉलेज सरकार एते स्कूल कॉलेज यूनिवर्सिटी खोलते कोटी कोटी टका खर्च करते नहीं. The necessity is this. So there are dimensions of learning. Different dimensions are there, like attitude and perception, acquire and integrate knowledge, extend and refine knowledge, use knowledge meaningfully, habits of mind. Habits of mind. Mind has an habit, a practice, an experience. So these are the different dimensions of learning. Another now we have to discuss one by one. One is attitude and perception. Effective teaching helps learners to establish positive attitude and perceptions about the classroom and learning. Yes or no? What is our experience? Effective teaching helps the learner to establish positive attitude and perception about the classroom and learning. Are we agree with this statement or not?
Yes, sir, agree.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So, unsafe and disorder classroom negatively affect learning of the learner. Suppose classroom activity is unsafe, discarded, not orderly, that affect negatively to the learner's learning. It is also all right. So accordingly, the attitude and perception of the learners will develop. Second one is acquire and integrate knowledge. Learning happens with integration of new knowledge and previous knowledge. आमे आज प्रथम से डिस्कशन करि आसीचे. सार मध्ये हम एतले स्कीमा कथा कहउतले राइसिंग सर, सेम फोकस वाज गिवन. So acquire and integrate knowledge means learning happens with integration of new knowledge and previous knowledge. So every child has previous knowledge. Every child when go to acquire new knowledge, there is an integration, there is a correlation. Okay. So extend and refine knowledge, comparing, classifying, abstracting, inducting, reasoning, deducting, constructing support, analyzing error, analyzing perspectives, etc. are used by learners to analyze for extending and refining their knowledge. Every day, every moment, everyone analyze, compare, classify our experience, our feelings, our attitudes with others. Why? Now to refine our knowledge, to make it correct. This is very important. प्रत्येक मुहूर्त रे जो पिला गुडी को देखिबो बेसी निजर नॉलेज को रिवाइज करूथिबे, एनालाइज करूथिबे, कंपेयर करूथिबे, तांका लर्निंग ता सेते मोर चलीथिबो. That is known as extended and refined knowledge, and it helps for mastery of learning. Without analyze, without comparing, without classifying, one cannot reach at mastery level of learning. Then learning ta mastery level jiba pai hele these skills are very essential. Use knowledge meaningfully. What knowledge we acquire, what experience we gather, that have to use meaningfully in different situations. Like when we take any decision to solve a problem, when we use in different situation, when we suggest others, when we advise others. So every moment we use the knowledge meaningfully, not haphazardly. Proper way we have to use our knowledge. Habits of mind, it is related to mental habits for critical thinking, open-minded, abstract thinking, critical thinking. So poets compose the poems. The story writer writes the stories. the SCS write the SH. So this is depend upon your mental power, mind power, mental ability, habits of your mind. Dekha, if you start composing poems, तुम्हारा ज्ञान थाउ थाउ किछि दिन पर you should become a poet. Maybe not the poem like दुखी धन कला कौन हेटा कला माणिक
ना कलामणि
पानी करे
और
कड़ा मारी करे
हाँ
କଳାମଣି
ଖଦ୍ୟୋତ୍ତର ଖେଦ और ଖଦ୍ୟୋତ୍ତର ଖେଦ
ଦୀକ୍ଷିତର ନୀଳମଣି
ହଉ କିମ୍ବା ଦେଖି ନାହିଁ କେତେ ଦିନ ଖଣ୍ଡଗିରି এই স্ট্যাচুর পোয়েম ন হই পারে but you can compose poems after making habit you also able to. Suppose you start writing story,
yes sir,
automatically the habit will come to your mind, then you can write again and again and again stories. You cannot become the you cannot, we can say we may not become the topmost story writer, but you become the story writer. Habit of mind. Okay, so everything is possible for us, for every human child. That is through making a habit in your mind. थरे यदि मानसिक स्तर रे तमे अभ्यस्त ही गलो सबु काम तमे करि पारि. आमे कहिबा नै से करि परिबोनी ये करि परिबोनी ए पिलाठी हबोनी से पिलाठी हबोनी. No, it is wrong. Every child can do if properly they will be get training. So then we can think about learning styles. गोटे पीपीटी अच्छी गोटे स्पीड अप करिबा बहुत पीपीटी अच्छी. Learning styles. Learning style shows that every individual learns differently. Every individual learns differently. We know it. It defines the way how people learn and how they approach information. प्रत्येक पिला every child learns with his or her own space. निज स्पेस रे child learn करे. So learning is different from every individual to individual, every child to child. Fleming's Burke, an educationist, he gave the statements like visual learners prefer the use of images, maps and graphic organizers to access and understand new information. Some learners are there. They prefer images, maps, graphics. When you use those, they can understand the fact very easily. Those learners are known as visual learners. Similarly, auditory learners are there. They like to listening and speaking in different situations, like lecturers, discussions. It's very important for them. Those learners are known as auditory learners. So learners with a strong reading and writing preference learn best through words. These learners are able to translate abstract concepts into words and essays. Kinetic learners are there, best understanding information through tactile implementation of information. They learn best through figuring things out by hand. जे कोनसी गोटे फैक्ट को से माने डायग्राम रे सुचेई दोथिबे बा गोटे डायग्राम को नै कि गोटे फैक्ट बा गोटे पैराग्राफ लिखुथिबे. ए प्रकार लर्नर ए भली सो लर्न करे. So therefore TLM is related to all these aspects, teaching learning material. Therefore we are giving focus on using teaching learning material. It may be in visual form or auditory form or written form or reading form or in other figuring form. So TLMs are in different forms we can use inside the classroom, because in a same classroom some are visual learners, some are auditory learners, some are also kinetics learners. So then pace of learning, it is very important. Every individual is unique and has his own learning style and pace of learning. The general meaning of pace of learning reveals about at what rate an individual learns. The learner can learn with the speed of 50, can the speed of 80, can the speed of 20, can the speed of 5 also. So we should not ignore it. So we should give focus as a teacher. We should give focus on the pace of learning of the child. Whose speed is what? That is our duty to identify. Accordingly, the support service will be given. the teacher will facilitate the child accordingly. Suppose the teacher facilitate the child with the whose speed is 5%, we facilitate in 50%. What result we get? Yes. गोटे पिलार 5% स्पीड रे से पढ़ियो ता स्पेस ऑफ लर्निंग इज 5%. आमे तक 50% रे पढ़ेबा बा हेल्प करिबा. What will the result? Yes.
No,
से
not
पढ़िबा सर
He cannot achieve,
जा
sir.
हबो.
very low. Very low.
Okay, very good. So it is our duty first identify the child's space of learning
Less, sir.
and accordingly support will be given. So philosophy of open and distance learning also believes in self-paced learning. Now you are the spaced learners, self-paced learners, self-paced learners. You all are, because we all are. You all are in distance mode. Yes or no? So open learning or distance learning platform gives or facilitate us and make us self-paced learning. तुम्हारा ये जो पेपर टा अच्छी चारोटी क्लास में 4 दुगुणे 8 घंटा आलोचना करिबा किंतु 8 घंटार पाठ ही कोन बा 800 घंटार पाठ यस और नो
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
800 घंटार पाठ आमे 8 घंटार डिस्कशन
बहुत
करू
अच्छे भीतर
so most of the work is of you तुम मानकर काम होची अधिक. So in a counseling class actually कोन हुए ना you learned beforehand and your doubts you ask we have to discuss. So within 4 classes most of your doubts may be clarified. Therefore it will help you to for your self preparation. So in distance and open learning system one have to prepare individually or in self, that is self learning. So role of the teacher, suggestions for facilitating learners for learning at different pace. जोटा एना कहउतिली as per the pace of the learner we have to give assistance. Never present a lot of concepts at a time. In my HSC examination I secured only 31 marks in English. मोर मैट्रिक रे मु 31 मार्क रखिली इंग्लिश रे. बुझियला ता कारण कोन? What is the reason? Can you say? Anybody? Yes? I secured only 31 marks in English.
Sir, English रे आपनको गाइडेंस
Okay.
सर फीडबैक ठीक भाव रे मिली नथिला.
Yes.
ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟ ନଥିଲା
पर गाइडेंस अभाव थिला.
Yes, good. किंतु जने कहले जे इंटरेस्ट नथिला. If I had no interest in English, now I became an English teacher. Okay? So all are you accept that all other statements are right. So here never present a lot of concepts at a time. So the teacher of English who was taking care of us, he has been presenting a lot of concepts at a time. गोटाए क्लास रे जोड़े इंग्रजी विषय सार देउतले. Today I remember it. Therefore I scored 31 marks in
सर ही
सुनीता मैडम म्यूट कर दियंतु प्लीज.
Sunita, mute your mic. Sunita, mute your mic. You mute, Sunita, mute your mic.
Sir, please mute all the mic.
मते ही म्यूट करिया पइला because I am the host. मते भीतर पॉसिबल करे पड़छ ना ओके so dear learners as we all are teachers we should be very focused on this point as I give my example I lose a lot in my studentship during my studentship never present a lot of concept at a time केबे स्कूल रे पिला को हमें अनेक concept at a time दबा नहीं कारण all the children they cannot have 90% 90-80% of space of learning because the students space of learning is very important. So another is encourage learners to give examples based on their own experience, but frequently we are giving examples from our experience. So we have to avoid it. We should encourage our learners, they should give examples related to the concept, and observations is very important. So try to follow time limit or time warning strategy to increase the pace of learners. For example, you can give 5 minutes to complete a task to a learner, which can be completed by an average learner in 3 minutes. तेणु आमे जो समयटा पिलांकु दबा आमे फ्लेक्सिबल हबा जेमते एग्जामिनेशन रे तुमरो एनसेप 2005 प्रिंसिपल गाइडिंग प्रिंसिपल कहिछि फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी इन एग्जामिनेशन सपोज ए स्लो लर्नर इज देयर if time limit is 1 hour we should give another 15 minutes to complete the task oh yes we have to flexible similarly flexibility should be maintained if it is a group work you can assign timekeeper role to one of the learner who will encourage all to complete the task in given time timekeeper must be there you should analyze the activity task before assigning to learners in terms of time required to complete the task and plan activity. So analyze before time. So these are the activities we have to complete these activities in the stipulated time. Design some additional activities, exercises for learners who learn at comparatively slow pace. This is a very important, another important duty of a teacher. Then think about modes of learning. Learning by observation. Learning by observation. So most of the learning is possible through observation, like grasping the meaning of the demonstration of an action. Just I want to share an example. मो पाखरे पैसा नहीं मु ए जिनसटा किनी परिबिनी प्लीज मेक इट इन इंग्लिश मो पाखरे पैसा नहीं मु ए जिनसटा किनी परिबिनी এই কথা কো ইংরেজি রে কুহ কুহ কি জণ কুহ স্টেটমেন্ট দিও yes
I have no money so I can't buy this
very good
I do not have money.
I can buy I'm not able to buy that
I don't have money, so that I can buy it.
very good any other don't repeat the same sentence same type of sentence don't repeat same type of sentence okay
I have no money
I am unable.
I can't buy that
I am unable okay but
I can buy
I
it
am,
as
yes
hello.
just I am going
I can't buy it as I have no money.
Okay very good but I am going to share a sentence you please listen silently Jharana mute my purse doesn't permit so I can't my purse doesn't permit so I can't is this sentence correct
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
okay so from this sentence the students can grasp the meaning my purse doesn't permit means sir has no money so in this way we have to involve our children participate our children in different situations they have to listen they have to visualize and they have to grasp the meaning from demonstration and trying to fix images of how the model looks in each step in the demonstration formulating silent verbal directions for the step so learning by observation is very important another is learning by limitation learning by imitation is very another important technique There are 4 techniques I may share you. You may note it. Chain drill, brainstorming, VMDT, visual memory development technique, and TPR, total physical response. These 4 techniques are very important techniques to carry on our day-to-day activities inside the classroom. In any subject, we can use all these techniques. Brainstorming, visual memory development technique, chain drill, and TPR, total physical response. So, TPR is related to what? Imitation. Imitation is very important. This is different category of imitation are there. Unconscious imitation, deliberate imitation. Under unconscious imitation, we may discuss the individual imitates what he sees quite unwittingly. Ame koiba do like this. Dekheile mundo pila imitate karibe. Do like this. So they cannot understand what we are doing, but they only observe and do. Deliberate, the individual copies an act with the definite deliberateness to imitate because of his interest. Gaare drama dekhuchi pila. Sakalu kete dialogue kouthibe. Villain dialogue kiye kouthibo ki hero dialogue kouthibo ki comedy dialogue kouthibo. So it is deliberate imitation. So with interest the child deliberates. So as a teacher, we should create certain situation among the learner like a village drama. Pila village drama देखिले देखिबो क्लास रे हम देखुतिबा जो पिला पाठ पचारले ओडिया रे भी पदे कहि पर नथिबो सकाळ जदी ऑब्जर्व करे ता गाने ड्रामा हैछि सेही पिला केते डायलॉग मन रखिछि कहूछि केते प्रकार भावभंगी इमिटेशन मध्ये करूछि किंतु क्लास रे से करि पारुनी तले काहे इमति से करि पारुछि सो इट इज डेलिबरेट इमिटेशन. So being a teacher, we should create certain situation and giving our students certain liberty and freedom. They have to follow the deliberate imitation. Bujhiyala? Always, this is very important for us. So from imitation, the child can learn. Another is learning by trial and error. Who can say? Who is the author of this theory? Trial and error theory.
E.L. Thorndike.
E.L. Thorndike.
E.L. Thorndike.
Thorndike, sir. E.L. Thorndike.
Okay, very good, very good. So, the satisfying feeling of rewards strengthens particular stimulus response connections, while the unsuccessful attempts are stamped out through practice. This type of learning is based on Thorndike's theory of connection. We know it very well. When trial increases, error decreases. When trial decreases, error increases. Yes or no? We have that experience also. Jete ame trial kariba, am error sete reduce se hi chalibo. हाँ कौन कहिबो कि रश्मिता रश्मिता डू यू वांट टू एनी क्वेश्चन रश्मिता ओके लर्निंग बाय इनसाइट कैन यू से व्हाट इज इनसाइटफुल लर्निंग you have certain experience
learning the certain ideas which came to our mind.
Very good, very good. For example, in the Gestalt theory of psychology,
Polar Kopka Wardimer.
So chimpanzee was the experiment. The hungry chimpanzee was there and banana was hanging. How on the certain situation he put an idea to have the banana and eat it. So similarly, the learner, if the chimpanzee has an idea, the human child can do. So being a teacher, we should give stress on learning by insight because within us there are a number of ideas and abilities. So create certain situation, how to use that idea and ability in the particular situation. That is important. Similarly, transfer of learning is there. Transfer of learning, when you think about the transfer of learning, learning of addition and subtraction helps to learn multiplication and division. Similarly, learning mathematics helps to solve numerical problem in physics. Learning playing tennis helps to play badminton. Language and mathematics gives training to mind, which helps in learning other subjects. A person who possesses a good knack for language can learn and retain any fact easily. So learning or training is one situation influences our learning in other situation. This is known as positive transfer. So carryover of habits of thinking, feeling, skills from one learning area to another learning is known as transfer of learning. It is positive. Then George says the transfer of learning is nothing but a generalization. Here is detail about positive, negative, zero transfer. Maybe you may face the question. A paper re question टिके बेसी आसेबो टिकेटा सुनुथाओ. Positive transfer is related to learning of one activity makes learning of another activity easier. For example, learning to pedal a tricycle makes the pedaling of bicycle easily. तमे जदि तीनटा ट्राइसाइकल रे तमे पेडाल मारिबा अभ्यास करिचो बाइसाइकल जोड़े चका सेठी पेडाल मारिया सहज करे दबो. Previous learning of a related skill benefits the learner in subsequent learning. मु पूर्वरु जहा सिकी जदि परवर्त समय ता हेल्प करूची दैट इज पॉजिटिव. जदि ता हेल्प करूनी मते ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन क्रिएट करूची दैट इज नेगेटिव ट्रांसफर. जदि आइदर हेल्प करूनी और ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन क्रिएट करूनी दैट इज जीरो ट्रांसफर. Transfer of learning is three types. One is positive. If one learning situation helps in other situation, that is positive. If creates hindrance in other situation, that is negative. If neither helps nor create hindrance, that is zero transfer. This is all about positive transfer, negative transfer, and zero transfer of learning. So unit 1 is over. Unit 2 is approaches to learning. So under this, behavioristic approaches to learning as Pavlov's classical conditioning. This is known as stimulus response conditioning and Skinner's operant conditioning. Cognitive approaches of learning is known as John Peirce's cognitive approach to learning. Social learning approach is social learning theory, socio-constructive approach. Humanistic approach of learning are there. Under classical conditioning, neutral stimulus, unconditioned stimulus, conditioned stimulus, unconditioned response, conditioned response, generalization, discrimination. These are the important facts. जेमती हमें कहवा जस्ट टाइम तो ही आसलानी 3 मिनिट्स स्लाइड अछि देखि
सर
कुआ
सर आउ टिके अधिक समय ले भी चलिबो 7:15 जे भी क्लास ले चलिबो किछ नै.
मो क्लास नबार किछ नै जे एक्चुअली आई एम सफरिंग फ्रॉम कोल्ड एंड कफ माने मु 2 घंटा तुम सहित बसिछि केमती घंटा गलानी आई कैन नॉट बिलीव इट बुझियो जे नै. अच्छा गोटे काम करिवा मो मते टिके समस्त कथा हुओ काली क्लास ता एक्चुअली मु नै पार नथिली गोटे प्रॉब्लम से रहि जाइथिली मो पुअर रिपोर्ट आने को हॉस्पिटल पळैथिली आसी पाइलिनी. एक्चुअली काली हमर क्लास थिला ना 29 तारिख रे.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
हाँ